Metonymy. What is metonymy? Metonymy is a figure of speech where a thing is referred to by the name of a closely associated thing. Think about it this way. Metonymy is where the name of a closely associated thing replaces the actual name of an object. Now, whenever we find an example of metonymy, we call it a metonym. We don't say this is a metonymy, we say this is a metonym. Now, if you're a bit confused right now about what this is, let me give you an example. Here's the first example. Let me give you a hand. A hand here is a metonym. Why? Because it really means help. Let me help you. So hand here is a word that's closely associated with help, and it replaces the word help. So this is an example of metonymy. Example number 2. Hollywood has been making some very expensive movies recently. Hollywood here is the metonym. Why? Because not all movies are made in Hollywood, but Hollywood is closely associated with the film industry. So what they're trying to say here is the film industry has been making some very expensive movies recently. But Hollywood replaces the words film industry because it's the metonym. It's that word that's closely associated with the film industry. How do we use metonymy? Well, number 1, we have to think of an object that we want to describe. Then we think about a word that's closely associated with that object. Then we call the first object using the word that is closely associated with it. So if I want to talk about the power of words and ideas and books compared to the power of war and the military, I can say it this way. The pen is mightier than the sword. Here we have 2 metonyms, pen and sword. Pen is a metonym and it's replacing words and ideas, or even books. And sword is a metonym replacing war and military force. So what this sentence is saying, the pen is mightier than the sword, it's really saying that books, ideas, words, they're more powerful than war and military force. Because if you're able to convince an entire group of people of a certain idea, then no matter how much fighting happens, people will not really abandon the idea. They will still hold the idea. And even at that point, maybe war will not be necessary. Example number 4. The White House released a statement today. Here, the White House is the metonym because it's replacing the president and his administration. The White House is a house. It doesn't do anything except sit there and have people live in it. But the idea is the White House is very closely associated with the president because he lives there and his team, the administration, they work there. So when you say the White House released a statement today, you're meaning the president and his administration released the statement. So White House is the metonym. Trivia. Well, metonymy is a Greek word which means a change of name. Why? Because it refers to one object using another word, or the name of another object, to refer to the first object. So it refers to the first object using the name of another object. Like this one. The only way you can assemble a bookshelf is by sweat. Well, sweat here is a metonym. It is not literal. Because sweat replaces hard work. So the only way you can assemble a bookshelf is by sweat. So the only way you can assemble a bookshelf is by hard work. Sweat is the metonym. You can click here to watch more videos on figurative language. Thanks for watching. Until next time.